Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are heading deep into the Victorian high country. Our destination, the summit of Mount Terrible and its iconic hut. It's usually a moderate off-road track, but after a night of steady rain, things might get a little more interesting. Slippery climbs, muddy ruts, we are in for a proper off-road day. The start of the trek is around 45 minutes from the Mansfield, so let's start our journey and see you over there.
The hard one is straight up.
चलो बिस्मिल्लाह पढ़ लें आयतुल कुर्सी.
Nothing too serious so far, just a standard incline with a well-graded track. Any regular all-wheel drive with moderate ground clearance should be able to handle it with ease. We haven't aired down the tires yet, and the Subaru is still running on standard highway tires. So we figured this was the perfect opportunity to put it to the test. And let's see how it performs. He couldn't quite make it to the top, got stuck right at the very end. I think it came down to a lack of momentum. With just a little more speed, he probably would have cleared it. For now, we have decided to stick to the easier track. The Subaru remains in its original stock condition with no modifications, which means it's relatively low ground clearance. While it performs better than many other all-wheel drive vehicles, we still had to be quite careful because at some points the track was quite deep. We decided to push things a little bit more with the Pajero. Took some steep climbs and descents, but the Pajero handled them with very ease. No issues at all.
It's heated. It's too hot. जो रोया मुंह बना
इधर से क्या चूज करना
Now he can choose which one he wants.
No one.
Me. Am I this one at 3? So, choosing which track we're going on.
Mom,
Which one?
जी मैं इसे समझने के सॉन्ग.
Straight, okay.
I said middle. No, Mama, you said I can choose.
This one right here is cheaper than it looks on camera, but now we were feeling confident enough to take these climbs head on. So each challenging section offers an easier alternative route as well. So if you ever feel like skipping any challenging part where you are not confident, there is no issue, you can always skip that and choose the other way.
अंकल आ रहे हैं.
Nope.
Maybe.
Last second they went the other way. That one, Jacob's hut or something.
Craig's hut.
Baba, I know why
ये
they
किसका
went.
क्या नाम है?
I know why they went there because it's hard to go here.
Yeah.
Noodles, Baba. Noodles.
I mean the kebab, which, like, skewers.
बस आएंगे फिर बाद में चला के दिखाएंगे. आज गए आज.
So we have finally decided to air down the tires because over here the track gets really rocky. Loose stones everywhere and some pretty chunky ones right in the middle. Even mid-clearance vehicles would have a hard time picking the right line through it. So it's better for your tires to keep the air pressure down.
एक फैन.
This is the steepest section and the final challenge. Loose rocks everywhere make it even more exciting. Luckily there is still a bypass if you would rather play it safe, but that one is the fun you must try.
at the mountain. Oh my god.
Now at the summit of Mount Terrible, right in front of Mount Terrible Hut. The track wasn't too difficult for a four-wheel drive. While you can bypass the tougher sections, be aware that it can still be quite tricky and challenging for all-wheel drives, especially if your vehicle doesn't have high ground clearance. It took us about an hour and a half from Eildon Jamieson Road, although the Google Maps shows hour and a half from the Mansfield, but that's totally misguiding. गेस्ट बुक भी है यहाँ पे, इसमें भी कुछ लिखते हैं अभी. Here is our champion all-wheel drive, but let's be clear, the Subaru Outback isn't your average all-wheel drive. If you're planning to tackle this track in normal all-wheel drive, you'll need to be very conscious, but definitely doable. Just make sure you have good ground clearance and you'll be fine. Mount Terrible ka tower. We accidentally took Newmans Track on the way back. It's got some steep sections too, but overall it's much more graded and manageable compared to the Mount Terrible track. Newmans Track is quite steep as well, and luckily Subaru didn't disappoint, and there wasn't any issues in there, but that was a good track to be done as well. But I wonder what it would be like in heavy rains when the track is quite slippery and wet. took a break at a servo to fuel up the cars and had some coffee, and now our way back to Melbourne.
ये धूप तो अंदर करके इंसान को खाएंगे मैं
What a spectacular sunset to end that adventurous day. Although it was a bit tiring, but I do recommend anyone with even a little four-wheel drive experience, you can definitely do it. We came across a fallen tree blocking the highway, but luckily the CFA was already on site and they were clearing it out of the way. Thank you very much for watching. See you on the next video. Stay tuned.